Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May it please the court, my name is Nurul Aini binti Razali, counsel for the appellant Ahmad.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May it please the court, my name is Siti Salihah binti Samad as a junior counsel plaintiff for Ahmad.
May it please the court, my name is Nur Sarina, counsel for the respondent Mia, and this is my co-counsel Emilia Farzana.
There is a case about a contract between the parties where the respondent Mia, Ahmad agent, has breached her duties as an agent by disobeying Ahmad order to sell his house for 100,000 ringgit Malaysia. Mia had made arrangement with the buyer Salim for the house to be sold for 110,000 ringgit Malaysia and for Salim to pay Mia an additional 5,000 ringgit Malaysia for her commission, all without Ahmad's knowledge.
Your Honour, I would like to direct your attention to the real issue in this case, in which, based on the issue, Ahmad cannot sue Mia because Mia did her service with her skill and diligence required from agent as what Ahmad orders was to find a client and sell the house, and Mia did sell the house with her skill and diligence.
The issue in this case is whether Ahmad can sue Mia for disobeying Ahmad's order and making his secret profit. Ahmad can sue Mia because Mia disobeying Ahmad's order and sell the house to Salim for 110,000 ringgit Malaysia and take additional commission for 5,000 ringgit Malaysia. Secret profit or acquire any benefit in the course in the matter of his agency without the knowledge and consent of his principal. Section 169. If an agent without the knowledge of his principal deals in the business of the agency on his own account instead on account of his principal, the principal is entitled to claim from the agent any benefit which may have resulted to him from the transaction. The related case is Tan Kieng Hua v. Andrew S. H. Chong 1974 to MLJ 188. The claim amount of secret profit by the agent under Section 169 Tan Kieng Hua v. Andrew S. H. Chong 1974 to MLJ 188. The principal was authorized the agent to sell the flat for $45,000, but the agent sold for $54,000. As the agent was breached his duty, the court has that the principal was entitled to recover the $9,000.
Ahmad cannot sue Mia because Mia complete her job in according with her principal instruction. She was able to sell Ahmad's house for more than the asking price, resulting in a larger profit for him. May did not coerce Salim into buying the house, and she did not force him to do so. Salim agreed to buy the house for RM 110k plus an additional RM 5,000 for her personal commission for finding a client to buy Ahmad's house.
Your Honour, I wish to report the points made by the plaintiff because in this case, Mia used her skill and diligence to give Ahmad extra profit, which is RM 10k more than exact amount that Ahmad has stated before. The presence of a founder, a buyer who is obligated by a contract, not to the vendor, but to the buyer, the agent passed on another offer according to the evidence. The agent honestly believed he had fulfilled his obligation to the vendor by finding a buyer subject to contract, so commission was due.
Really, in this case, Mia has done in her job as an agent in selling the house, allowing Ahmad to make an additional RM 10,000 profit by selling the house to Salim.
Your Honor, the principles of a decided court case that supports my argument is the case of Keppel v. Wheeler, 1927, 1KB 577. Having found a buyer subject to contract, the agent passed on another offer not to the vendor, but to the buyer. On the facts, it was found that the agent honestly believed he had discharged his duty to the vendor by finding a buyer subject to contract, so commission was due. Lord Justice Atkins specifically found that there had been a breach of contract by the agent. He also stated by way of example that if an agent failed to pass on particulars of the property, the principal would have a claim for breach of contract to use reasonable skill and diligence in the obtaining of a purchaser. However, the Court of Appeal held that there had been a breach of duty and awarded damage equal to the difference between the contract price and the undisclosed offer.
Will it? Mia fulfilled her job by finding a client to sell the house, and she was able to sell in the selling for 110k plus an additional 5k for her commission for pursuing and finding a client to buy the house. By selling the house for 110k, which is 10,000 more than the actual price, Ahmad would make an extra profit from Mia's work. Ahmad would make an additional Rm 10,000 profit.
Your Honour, please refer to the section 164 and 169 of Contract Act 1950. Mia disobeyed instruction and without the knowledge of Ahmad has made the secret profit behind Ahmad after being instructed to sell the house. After asking for additional commission by Salim, Mia decided to sell the house for 115k without telling her principal. So Ahmad is entitled to refuse to pay the commission, which is 50k from selling of house to Mia. Your Honour, please refer to the principle that were decided in the case of Tan Kyong Hwa vs Andrew S.H. Chong, 1974 to MLJ 188. The court should decide that Ahmad entitled for refusing to pay for Mia commission because Mia has breached her duty for disobey instruction by making secret profit behind Ahmad back after being asked an additional commission from Salim.
Your Honour, I wish to rebut the provision made by the plaintiff because the proper provision is to be referred to in section 165. An agent is bound to conduct the business of the agency with as much skill as is generally possessed by a person engaged in similar business unless the principal has notice of his want of skill. The agent is always bound to act with reasonable diligence and to use such skill as he possesses and to make compensation to his principal in respect of the direct consequence of his own neglect, want of skill or misconduct, but not in respect of loss or damage which are indirectly or remotely caused by such neglect, want of skill or misconduct. In our case, Mia using her skill to sell the house with an extra commission, which is extra profit to Ahmad. Mia used her diligence to sell the house. If anyone in Mia's position, they will do the same thing like Mia did.
Will it? According to section 165, Mia, which is Ahmad agent, sold the house for Rm 110k plus an extra 5k for her own profit plus an extra 10k for the main Ahmad.
To conclude my case, Ahmad can sue Mia because Mia disobeying Ahmad order and sell the house to Salim for 110k and take additional commission for 5k. By referring to the section 164 and 169 of Contract Act 1950, Mia disobeyed instruction and without the knowledge of Ahmad has made the secret profit behind Ahmad after being instructed to sell the house. After asking for additional commission by Salim, Mia decided to sell the house for 115k without telling her principal. So Ahmad is entitled to refuse to pay the commission, which is 15k from selling the house to Mia. Relating to the case of Tan Kiong Hwa vs Andrew S.H. Chong 1974 to MLJ 188, the court should decide that Ahmad entitled for refusing to pay for Mia commission because Mia has breaches her duty for disobey instruction by making secret profit behind Ahmad back after being asked an additional commission from Salim. Thus, Ahmad should allowed to terminate the contract and claim damage.
Conclude my case, Ahmad cannot sue Mia because, according to Section 165, Mia did her work with her skills and followed principal order, which is to find a buyer and sell the house to the buyer at 100k. She did her work using her skills and diligence and also managed to get an extra commission, which is 10k for Ahmad profit by selling the house at 110k with an additional 5k for her on commission of finding a client, which is Salim, the buyer who wants to buy Ahmad's house. By Section 165, Mia as an agent have the evidence of working with her skill and diligence according to her principal's order. Ahmad was to sell his house at 100k and Mia did sell the house and also managed to get an additional profit for her principal by selling it to Salim at 110k.
According to the case Keppel v. Wheeler in 110,027, 1KB577, the agent Mia sold the house for 110k plus 5,000k ringgit for her commission, and Salim was neither forced or pressured into purchasing the house. Salim was willing to pay 110k for the house plus 5,000 ringgit for Mia's fee. For the reason stated above, I humbly propose that the court rule in favor on the Section 165 appellant request that my client not be sued.